What if you stopped buying disposable annuals and switched to these lifetime perennials? Imagine a garden that keeps giving year after year without the constant cycle of replanting, fertilizing, and waste. In this video, we'll explore 16 hardy, long-lasting perennials that prove you can build a vibrant, low-maintenance landscape that outlives any fleeting trend. We'll dive into each plant's preferred soil, hardiness zones, companion choices, historical background, and practical care tips so you can picture exactly how it will perform in your own yard. Along the way, we'll sprinkle in anecdotes from gardeners who have watched these plants mature over decades, cite scientific studies on pollinator support, and suggest design ideas that make each species shine in borders, rock gardens, meadow-style plantings, or container displays. Here are the 16 plants that make the case. Number 16. Hosta Patriot. This giant, chartreuse-mottled hosta reaches up to 3 feet tall and spreads a full 3 feet wide, making it a centerpiece for shady borders. Originating from a breeding program in the United States in the early 1990s, Patriot was selected for its thick, leathery leaves that are unusually resistant to slug and snail damage, a common problem in humid, shaded gardens. The plant thrives in part shade to full shade with moist, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. A mulch layer of shredded bark helps retain moisture and keeps the roots cool during summer heat spikes. Once established, it requires only an occasional deep watering during a dry summer. The foliage stays green through fall, and the lavender-blue flower spikes appear in mid-summer, attracting hummingbirds and small bees that seek nectar in otherwise dimly lit habitats. Because hostas clump and expand slowly, you won't need to divide them every few years. Just give it space and let it grow into a natural, low-maintenance backdrop for ferns, other hostas, and spring bulbs such as crocus and snowdrops. In colder zones, USDA 3 to 9, the foliage may die back to the ground after a hard freeze, but new shoots will emerge in spring, making Patriot a true perennial workhorse. Garden historians note that Patriot was one of the first hostas marketed specifically for urban gardeners dealing with polluted soils, and its tolerance to heavy leaf litter makes it a favorite in community gardens where compost is applied liberally. Pair it with Astilbe frosty for contrasting texture, or with Heuchera Palace purple for a color-rich shade garden. An anecdote from a Chicago backyard shows a single Patriot clump surviving 10 consecutive winters with minimal care, while neighboring tender perennials succumbed to freeze-thaw damage, underscoring its resilience. Research from the University of Georgia indicates that hosta leaf litter improves soil microbial activity by up to 15% after one growing season, a subtle benefit for mixed shade plantings. Number 15. Daylily Happy Returns. A compact 18-inch tall yellow daylily that reblooms from early summer until the first frost without any deadheading. This cultivar was released by a Midwest breeder in 2005 and quickly earned a reputation for its repeat bloom habit, a trait that is genetically controlled by a mutation in the flowering gene that allows the plant to reset its blooming cycle each year. It tolerates full sun to light shade and adapts to a wide range of soils, from sandy loam to heavy clay. As long as drainage is adequate, poor drainage typically leads to crown rot in daylilies. The plant's dense, clump-forming habit means you can plant it in groups of 3 for a striking ribbon of color that never fades. After the first season, no division or fertilization is required. The foliage remains upright, and the blooms provide a constant food source for butterflies and bees, especially the eastern tiger swallowtail and the common eastern bumblebee. Its disease-free pedigree makes it a reliable alternative to patented varieties that often disappear from catalogs, and the rhizomes are known to survive up to 30 years in the ground, making it a true long-term investment for sunny borders, rock gardens, or container plantings. Daylily enthusiasts in the Pacific Northwest have reported that Happy Returns can tolerate occasional snow cover, emerging unfazed in spring, a testament to its cold hardiness. Good companions include Salvia mystic spires for vertical interest and ornamental grasses such as Pennisedum fireworks that add movement to the same sunny spot. A long-term study by Oregon State University tracked a 12-year plot where Happy Returns was the dominant species. Pollinator counts rose 27% compared with a control plot of mixed annuals, illustrating its ecosystem value. Number 14. Salvia nemorosa Caradonna, a dark-stemmed 2-foot-tall salvia that showcases deep violet spikes from late May through July, with a modest second flush in early September after a light deadhead. The cultivar was introduced by the Italian nursery Caradonna in 1999, and its almost black stems give it an architectural presence that works well in modernist gardens and cottage-style borders alike. It tolerates drought once established, attracting hummingbirds, native pollinators such as the painted lady butterfly, and beneficial predatory insects that feed on aphids. No staking or fertilizer beyond the first year is needed. A light application of balanced granular fertilizer in early spring encourages a more vigorous second flush. The clump expands slowly, so you can enjoy a tidy, long-lasting display without worrying about aggressive spreading, and the plant is hardy in zones 4 to 9, making it suitable for a broad swath of the United States. In addition to ornamental value, Caradonna has been used in therapeutic herb gardens because its leaves contain mild antiseptic compounds. A diluted tea made from the foliage was historically used in Italian folk medicine to soothe minor skin irritations. Planted alongside low-maintenance perennials such as Nepeta Walker's Low or ornamental onions, allium purple sensation, to create a layered, pollinator-rich border. An anecdote from a heritage garden in Tuscany recounts a 25-year-old Caradonna still producing vigorous spikes after a severe summer drought, underscoring its reliability. Recent work published in the Journal of Ethnobotany confirms the antimicrobial activity of Salvia nemorosa extracts, adding a scientific layer to its traditional uses. Number 13. Nepeta Walker's Low. This low-growing catmint forms a 2-foot-wide mat of aromatic, silvery green foliage, topped with lavender-blue flower clusters that bloom continuously from late spring to early fall. Bred by the renowned plant explorer Walker in the early 2000s, Walker's Low was selected for its compact habit and exceptional cold hardiness, down to USDA Zone 3. It thrives in full sun to part shade and tolerates poor, dry soils, making it perfect for rock gardens, front beds, or as a ground cover under taller perennials such as peonies or hostas. The plant's gentle spreading habit fills gaps without becoming invasive. Its rhizomes stay shallow, allowing easy removal if a gardener wishes to relocate the mat. Nectar-rich flowers draw bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds, while the foliage emits a faint rosemary-like scent when brushed, adding sensory interest. Once the initial summer of establishment is over, it needs only occasional watering during extreme droughts, and a light pruning in early spring keeps the mat compact and prevents woody stem buildup. Landscape designers often pair Walker's Low with dwarf conifers, such as Juniperus blue star, to create a contrast of texture, and its foliage works well as a backdrop for striking spring bulbs like Tulipa Queen of Night. A veteran gardener in Colorado notes that a 10-year-old Walker's Low mat still retains its vigor after a severe winter freeze that killed neighboring perennials, highlighting its hardiness. In a 2021 pollinator survey in the Midwest, plots containing Walker's Low recorded a 19% increase in native bee visitation compared with bare ground controls. Number 12. Sedum Matrona, a sturdy, upright stonecrop that grows to about 2 feet tall, featuring purple-tinged stems and dusty rose flower clusters that appear in late summer and persist into hard frost. Unlike the popular autumn joy, Matrona does not split or produce a hollow center, maintaining a compact mound for at least 15 years. Its origin traces back to a breeding program in the British Isles that aimed to create a sedum with a more compact habit for small gardens. It thrives in full sun, well-drained, lean soil, and requires almost no water once established, reflecting its Mediterranean cliff origin. The succulent foliage stores moisture, making it an excellent drought-tolerant accent for sunny borders, rock gardens, or container plantings. In zones 5 to 9, the plant retains its foliage all winter, providing visual interest and a source of nectar for late-season pollinators such as the orange-tip butterfly. Minimal maintenance, just a trim after flowering to keep the plant tidy, keeps it looking its best for decades. Gardeners in the southwest United States have reported that Matrona can survive temperatures as low as 10 degrees Fahrenheit, -12 degrees Celsius, when mulched lightly, a testament to its hardiness. Pair it with ornamental grasses like Festuca blue fescue for a silvery blue palette, or with lavender for complementary fragrance. A case study from a Tucson xeriscape project documented a 22% reduction in irrigation demand after introducing Matrona alongside native succulents, illustrating its water-saving potential. Number 11. Rudbeckia American Gold Rush. A 2-foot-tall, golden-flowered black-eyed Susan that blooms non-stop from early summer through the first frost. This cultivar was released by American horticulturists in 2012 and is specifically bred for resistance to septoria leaf spot, a disease that plagues many older cultivars and can decimate a planting in humid climates. The plant's dense, bushy habit creates a fountain of gold that stays clean and vibrant throughout the season, while the seed heads turn into ornamental, feathery structures in winter, providing food for goldfinches and other seed-eating birds. It tolerates heat, drought, and poor soils, attracting a host of pollinators including the monarch butterfly and the common eastern bumblebee. No division is needed. A single planting will fill a sunny border for decades, and the plant's moderate height makes it an excellent mid-layer between low ground covers and taller perennials such as delphiniums. In prairie restoration projects across the Midwest, American Gold Rush has been used as a sentinel species to indicate soil health because its vigor reflects the presence of beneficial mycorrhizal fungi. Companion plants that enhance its display include Echinacea magnus for complementary color and Baptisia purple elegans for nitrogen-fixing benefits. A long-term observation from a Kansas farm notes that a 12-year-old stand of American Gold Rush produced 40% more seed than the original planting, showing the cumulative vigor that can develop over time. Number 10. Echinacea purpura, the classic purple coneflower, a native species that lives 20 years or more without the need for replanting. Its sturdy, daisy-like blooms attract bees, butterflies, and even small mammals such as chipmunks that nibble the seed heads. The plant prefers full sun and well-drained soil, but tolerates moderate shade and occasional drought, making it a versatile choice for prairie-style gardens, meadow borders, or even urban rooftop planters. Unlike many hybrid coneflowers, the species forms self-seeds gently, creating a natural, low-maintenance meadow effect that can spread up to 3 to 5 feet over decades. Yet it does not become aggressively invasive. Once established, it requires only a light prune after the first bloom to keep shape, and the foliage remains attractive throughout summer. In addition to its ornamental value, Echinacea is prized for its medicinal roots, which have been used by Native American tribes for centuries to boost immune function, though gardeners should avoid harvesting the roots from a plant they intend to keep as a perennial. Research from the University of Kansas shows that planting a mixed stand of Echinacea with native grasses improves pollinator diversity by up to 30%, a finding echoed in a 2020 USDA pollinator health report. Good neighbors include Coreopsis moonbeam for a contrasting yellow bloom and Gaillardia Arizona sun for heat-tolerant brilliance. A veteran horticulturist in Iowa recounts a 30-year-old coneflower patch that still produces robust blooms, proving the longevity promised by the species. Number 9. Geranium Roseanne, a hardy, blue-flowered hardy geranium that earned the Perennial Plant Association's Plant of the Year Award in 2008. It reaches 3 feet in height and spreads to about 4 feet wide, delivering a continuous spray of periwinkle blossoms from May through October. Roseanne was selected for its exceptional heat tolerance and its ability to bloom on new growth, which means it can rebloom after a harsh summer where many other geraniums would fade. The plant tolerates a wide range of soil types, from sandy loam to clay, and thrives in full sun to part shade. Its compact, mound-forming habit does not spread aggressively, and it requires no deadheading or division for at least a decade. The foliage remains attractive year after year, providing texture and color even when the flowers fade, and the plant's dense habit makes it an excellent filler for rock walls, cottage garden borders, or as a backdrop for taller perennials like peonies. Horticultural trials in the Pacific Northwest have documented that Roseanne can survive winter lows of -20 degrees Fahrenheit, -29 degrees Celsius, when mulched lightly, making it a reliable choice for colder coastal gardens. Pair it with low-maintenance shrubs such as boxwood wintergreen, or with ornamental grasses like Miscanthus sinensis morning light for seasonal contrast. A garden writer from Seattle notes that a single Roseanne clump planted in 1999 still dominates a 10-foot border, outlasting neighboring perennials that required frequent replacement. Number 8. Amsonia hubrichtii. Known as the blue star Amsonia, this native perennial forms a low, spreading mound of finely textured bright green leaves that turn a brilliant gold in the fall. From late April to early May, delicate sky blue, star-shaped flowers carpet the plant, creating a subtle yet striking display that often goes unnoticed until the first bee lands. It prefers full sun to part shade and tolerates a variety of soils, including rocky or well-drained loam, making it a favorite for dry woodland edges and limestone gardens. Deer typically avoid it, and it requires virtually no maintenance beyond the first summer's watering. The plant's clump expands slowly, filling gaps without overtaking neighboring perennials, and can persist for 20 years or more, offering a reliable source of late-season pollen for solitary bees such as the mason bee. Botanical gardens in the Ozarks have used Amsonia hubrichtii as an indicator species for calcareous soils, and its presence often signals a healthy microhabitat for native wildflowers. Combine it with low-maintenance ground covers like Thymus serpyllum elfin, or with early blooming bulbs such as grape hyacinth, muscari, for a layered spring garden. An informal survey of 50 prairie restorations in Arkansas found that plots containing Amsonia hubrichtii had a 12% higher native bee capture rate than plots without, highlighting its pollinator benefit. Number 7. Phlox paniculata jana, a 4-foot-tall garden phlox cultivar celebrated for its exceptional mildew resistance and profuse lavender-pink flower panicles. Developed in the Pacific Northwest in 2004, Jana was bred from a cross of disease-resistant lines to eliminate the common powdery mildew that plagues many garden phloxes. It thrives in full sun and average, well-drained soil, attracting butterflies, hummingbirds, and beneficial insects that help control garden pests. The plant's foliage stays clean and vibrant through summer, while the dense flower clusters bloom from midsummer into early fall, providing a long visual runway for pollinators. Because of its disease-resistant breeding, you can enjoy a lush display without routine fungicide applications. After the first year of watering, the plant self-maintains, expanding its clump gradually and providing a fragrant, colorful backdrop for nearly 15 years, and it can be cut back after the first frost to encourage a tidy winter silhouette. In historic estates across the Pacific Northwest, Jana has been used as a border plant behind walking paths because its height and scent create a subtle corridor experience. Good companions include ornamental grasses such as Calamagrostis, poa, and low-lying perennials like Helleborus wintertime for a continuous bloom sequence. A long-term trial at a university horticulture station showed that Jana maintained greater than 90% bloom vigor after 10 years with minimal pesticide inputs, confirming its low-maintenance credentials. Number 6. Gaillardia Arizona sun, also called blanket flower. This low-maintenance perennial produces fiery red and orange daisy-like blooms that open in full sun and remain vibrant well into the autumn. First introduced by a desert-focused nursery in Arizona in 1998, Arizona sun was selected for its heat tolerance and its ability to thrive in alkaline, sandy soils typical of desert gardens. It tolerates heat, drought, and poor soils, making it ideal for xeriscape gardens, rock walls, or sunny borders where water is scarce. The plant's deep taproot anchors it firmly, reducing the need for staking, and its foliage turns a soft bronze in winter, adding seasonal interest. Bees and butterflies flock to the abundant nectar, and the plant's self-seeding habit creates a natural, spreading carpet without becoming invasive. Seedlings often appear the following spring, gradually thickening the planting area while still leaving room for neighboring perennials. Landscape architects often pair Arizona sun with agave blue glow or with low-maintained succulents such as sempervivum cobweb to emphasize a desert-themed palette. In the Sonoran Desert restoration projects, this cultivar has been shown to improve soil organic matter by 12% after 5 years, thanks to its leaf litter, a finding published in the Restoration Ecology Journal. An anecdote from a Tucson homeowner recounts a 15-year-old Arizona sun stand that still blooms profusely after a severe summer drought, proving its durability. Number 5. Baptisia australis, the blue indigo wild indigo, a 4-foot-tall native prairie perennial that lives a quarter century or more with minimal care. Its deep taproot, up to 10 feet, makes it drought-resistant, while its striking blue-purple flower spikes appear in late May, resembling lupines but lasting far longer, often into early summer. After flowering, the plant produces ornamental black seed pods that rattle in the wind and provide food for goldfinches and other seed-eating birds. It tolerates a range of soils, from sandy to loamy, and once established, it requires no fertilization, division, or watering beyond occasional deep soak during extreme droughts. The plant's upright habit anchors mixed borders and prairie-style plantings, and its nitrogen-fixing ability improves soil health for neighboring legumes such as lupines and pea-type perennials. In colder zones, USDA 3-8, the foliage may die back, but the root system remains viable for decades. Conservationists have used Baptisia australis in prairie restorations because its deep roots break up compacted soil and increase infiltration rates by up to 30%. Pair it with early blooming native asters like Symphiatricum purple dome for a sequential color display. A 20-year study in Illinois tallgrass prairie sites documented that plots with Baptisia australis showed a 22% increase in soil nitrogen compared with control plots, confirming its ecological benefit. Number 4. Lavandula angustifolia. English lavender offers silvery gray foliage and fragrant purple spikes that bloom from late spring through early summer. Originating from the Mediterranean basin, this cultivar thrives in full sun, well-drained, alkaline soils and is exceptionally drought-tolerant once established. The aromatic foliage repels deer and some insects, while the nectar-rich flowers attract bees, butterflies, and hoverflies that love the sweet scent. Pruning after the first bloom encourages a second flush and maintains shape, but beyond that, the plant requires virtually no maintenance. Its evergreen habit provides year-round texture, and the dried flower stems can be harvested for sachets, potpourri, or culinary uses such as flavoring shortbread or herbal teas. Lavender also tolerates light salt spray, making it a good choice for coastal gardens where many perennials struggle. Historical records show that monastic gardens in medieval England cultivated this species for its calming fragrance and medicinal properties, using it to treat headaches and insomnia. In a Mediterranean-themed courtyard, place Lavandula angustifolia alongside rosemary Tuscan blue and thyme creeping for an aromatic herb border that also supplies pollinator nectar. A horticultural trial in coastal California demonstrated that lavender plots required 40% less irrigation than neighboring sagebrush plantings, highlighting its water-saving capacity. Number 3. Perovskia blue spire. Commonly known as Russian sage, this woody herbaceous perennial reaches 6 feet tall with airy silver-gray foliage and towering spikes of violet-blue flowers that bloom from midsummer to early fall. Developed in the United Kingdom in the late 1990s, Blue Spire was selected for its compact growth habit compared with the taller, more sprawling Russian sage varieties. It prefers full sun and well-drained, slightly alkaline soil, tolerating heat, drought, and even salty conditions, making it a staple in both inland and coastal gardens. The plant's aromatic leaves deter deer and many garden pests, while the abundant nectar supports hummingbirds and butterflies, especially the painted lady and the monarch. Minimal pruning in early spring removes spent stems and encourages fresh growth, but otherwise the plant is essentially set and forget, providing a striking architectural element for decades. In zones 5 to 9, it remains evergreen, offering winter interest through its silvery foliage. Landscape designers often use blue spire as a backdrop for low-lying perennials such as Dianthus firewitch, creating a layered effect that highlights both texture and color through the growing season. A case study from a public park in Utah noted that a 12-year-old blue spire stand required no irrigation after the first 2 years, confirming its deep drought resilience. Number 2. Achillea millefolium moonshine. This ornamental yarrow cultivar showcases soft, silvery green foliage and flat clusters of pale yellow flowers that appear from early summer through early fall. Bred by a Midwestern horticulturist in 2001, moonshine was chosen for its compact habit, about 18 inches tall, and its ability to thrive in very poor, sandy soils where many perennials fail. It thrives in full sun and well-drained, poorer soils, making it perfect for rock gardens, borders, or meadow plantings. The plant is exceptionally drought-resistant, attracting a wide range of pollinators, and its foliage releases a pleasant herbal scent when brushed, reminiscent of rosemary and thyme. Minimal deadheading encourages a second bloom, but the plant's self-seeding habit can fill in gaps naturally without becoming aggressive. Seedlings usually appear within a foot of the parent plant, creating a naturalized look. Its sturdy stems also make excellent cut flowers for arrangements, and the fern-like foliage can be used in dried flower crafts. Studies by the University of Minnesota have shown that yarrow colonies improve soil organic carbon by up to 8% after 3 years, making moonshine a functional addition to low-maintenance prairie restorations. Good companions include low-maintenance sedums, such as Matrona, and ornamental grasses like little bluestem, Schizocerium scoparium. A horticulturist in Nebraska reports that a 20-year-old moonshine patch still produces abundant blooms despite being planted on reclaimed mine tailings, underscoring its toughness. Number 1. Paeonia lactiflora, Sarah Bernhardt, the classic garden peony, a herbaceous perennial that can live a century or more when planted at the correct depth, about 2 inches below the soil surface. This French cultivar was introduced in 1867 and has become a benchmark for garden peonies worldwide due to its large, fragrant, double pink blossoms that appear in late spring and last for 3 weeks. It reaches 3 to 4 feet tall, producing massive, fragrant, double pink blossoms in late spring that become the centerpiece of any garden. Once established, the plant requires no division, fertilization, or pest control beyond a light mulch in the first year. Its deep, fibrous root system stores nutrients, allowing it to thrive in full sun to part shade and tolerate a range of soil types, provided drainage is good. The peony's foliage dies back in summer, creating a clean garden canvas for summer annuals, while the dormant root system prepares for the next year's spectacular display. Plant a single clump and watch it become a family heirloom, passing beauty from generation to generation. Many historic estates still feature original Sarah Bernhardt plants that are over 150 years old. Peony societies across Europe and North America celebrate this cultivar each May with festivals that feature tea parties, photography contests, and community planting events, underscoring its cultural significance. Pair it with low-growth foliage such as astilbe, pink lace, or with early blooming crocuses for a layered spring tableau. An anecdote from a New England garden recounts a 120-year-old Sarah Bernhardt that continues to bloom reliably after a century of harsh New England winters, illustrating the unmatched longevity of this peony. Switching from throwaway annuals to these 16 lifetime perennials transforms your garden into a resilient, ever-changing masterpiece that pays dividends year after year. By selecting plants that are adapted to their climate, require minimal inputs, and provide continuous habitat for pollinators, you create a sustainable landscape that not only looks beautiful but also supports biodiversity. If you enjoyed this list, hit subscribe and let us know which of these champions you'll be planting next.